Hey everybody, it's Shireen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am making a special sweet treat. For the last few years at my church, we've been doing a church tradition where we do a Christmas card and cookie exchange. So we're all bringing our best sweet treat. And so today I'm doing Christmas crack. This recipe can be found on Pinterest. It's not something that I developed, but there's several posts on Pinterest, and I probably will post mine here too because this is the first time I'm actually recording it. But it's called Christmas Crack. Just search it up on Pinterest and you will find the recipe. So let me show you the ingredients and then we'll get started. All right, so these are the simple four ingredients. We have I have some semi-sweet chocolate chips, some saltine crackers, butter, brown sugar, and this is what I'm using: a sheet pan, some aluminum foil, and I'm using a whisk, but you can use a wooden spoon. Now what's important to note here is a couple things. I have 2 sticks of butter, but the recipe calls for 1 cup, and I think 1 cup is, oh yeah, this is right. So 1 stick of butter is a half a cup. Okay, and the other thing that's important to note is we're supposed to use non-stick aluminum foil. Non-stick aluminum foil. This doesn't say non-stick, but it's heavy duty, so I hope it'll work. I've made this a few times before, and I've always had non-stick aluminum foil. It specifically says that, so I hope this is not a disaster. But y'all will see at the end. But I specifically use the heavy duty. I have some non-heavy duty aluminum foil as well, but I use the heavy duty in the hopes that it'll work. I have me a saucepan, and my oven is heating right now to 400 degrees. Well, what's happening here? We are going to start by preparing the sheet pan. And to prepare the sheet pan, we place a sheet of aluminum foil and we make sure to press and line the aluminum foil. This is going to make it easier to lay the crackers. Now, my aluminum foil is one of those extra long rolls, so I had a lot of excess and I got rid of some of that excess. Also, I want to stress here again that you should use non-stick aluminum foil. I'll be honest, I've bought aluminum foil that says nonstick on it, but none of the ones I've seen recently say that. So anyway, I use what I have on hand, and I'm using some of this baking cooking spray, and I am just lightly spraying the foil with some spray, and this should prevent sticking. Now, the nonstick is essential, y'all, or this would be a complete disaster. So now we are laying out the crackers in a single layer, and you want to try to get as little space in between each cracker as possible. This is not going to be uniform. One, based on how your foil lays, and then two, the size pan you had. Actually, this pan, because I bought a new one not too long ago, this one has probably been the best my crackers have laid, even though you will see I have some imperfect crackers because some of the crackers were cracked already. Anyway, as you see, I am just filling up the pan, laying the crackers in a single layer as close together as possible. You want to have as little space between them as possible. Next, we are going to start on the caramel sauce. And the caramel sauce just consists of the brown sugar and the butter. The recipe calls for dark brown sugar, but I did not have dark brown sugar. I used light brown sugar, which is what I had in my pantry, and it's fine, guys. It's fine. You will still get a good tasty treat with light brown sugar. So we are melting the butter, and you want to make sure that you don't have your fire too high. I would recommend medium to medium low. Um, and then once The butter is melted. Well, we haven't gotten there yet. Let's deal with the sugar. You'll see I'm gonna make a big mess here. There it is. So I'll clean that up later on. But since this butter is melted and we don't want it to burn, we're gonna go ahead with making the caramel sauce. And you're just gonna stir and continue to stir and continue to stir until the sugar is fully blended, mixed in with the butter. It will eventually start kind of sort of bubbling over. Um, and again, you don't want your fire too high, so I still would keep it at low to medium low while the sugar is completely melting. And you also see it thicken up a little bit. And we're going to just continue to stir, stir, stir until the sauce thickens. And I don't know, I guess you can see it a little bit. It's bubbling a little bit here. So it's at this point where it's bubbled and the sugar is completely melted. You want to pour it over your crackers. And you can use a spoon to kind of spread it out if you need to. And you guys, I apologize. I thought I was filming and I did not film the pour of the caramel mixture. I did not film putting the pan in the oven. I just completely failed that whole entire segment. But after about 7 minutes, so you leave it in your oven, you leave the cracker and caramel mixture in the oven for 7 minutes. It comes out bubbling, y'all. I think I took maybe 10 seconds longer than I should have so that y'all could see the nice bubble that it comes out with. But after that, you just spread some um, chocolate chips all over. You let it melt a little bit. It'll melt from the heat. I am being really impatient here. So this looks like nothing is happening, but literally the chocolate chips are melting. So you just need to give it a minute at least. I didn't give it a minute. And then that'll also allow, I don't know if you just saw, but I was trying to spread the chocolate that hasn't really melted yet. And I was moving the crackers around because the caramel mixture is still very malleable, warm, and it has um, no solidness to it at all. So you'll see here once the chocolate chips are starting to really melt from the warm mixture, you can spread it around a little bit more easily. And that's what I'm doing here to make sure that each cracker has some chocolate. And you can see I'm adding it to a couple of places that it didn't spread to. Now, I don't think I added enough chocolate chips, but it still turned out just fine. And after I spread a little bit more, get a little bit more coverage, the next thing that's going to happen is this is going to go in the refrigerator to cool. I do mine overnight. That is salt, y'all. You can sprinkle a little bit of salt on top if you want. The salt is completely optional. I really just did pinches of salt. But the next step is for this to go in your refrigerator. Again, I do mine so that it can be in there overnight. I do not think that it will take all night in order for this to cure and for it to harden. You probably can do it first thing in the morning and it'll be ready, by early afternoon. But I've never done it that way. I've always done it overnight. This is, I want to say, my third or fourth time making this. So now it's time for this to be refrigerated overnight. And I've only done it overnight, y'all. But if you count up the hours that the recipe says, you can probably do this first thing in the morning or an event or a gathering or something like that that's happening in the afternoon. But I've only ever done this with curing and hardening overnight. All right, good morning, everyone. It is the next day. The Christmas crack is refrigerated overnight so that it can harden. So I have these gloves on. Gloves are not necessary, but we're going to crack them up. I just didn't want to get all that chocolate and stuff on my hands and have to do another hand wash. So let's get started. Okay, so this is what it looks like, hardened out of the refrigerator. And let me adjust the camera so you can see what's happening down here. All right, let me make this a little bit. Uh-oh. Take this off. All right. So I have my cookie pan, I guess. It says Merry Christmas. And yeah, Lord, y'all, I hope this isn't a disaster. So we're going to pull the foil off. So that looks pretty easy. I was a little bit unsure about that because this is not non-stick. But remember, I sprayed the aluminum foil with a little bit of cooking spray, the baking kind. So yeah, I'm just gonna start cracking these and see they crack ununiformly and into pieces that are shareable. Some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller, but we're just going to crack to our heart's content. And I'm just kind of randomly placing them. They don't have to be uniform in any way. I'm going to save this piece right here for me to do a little taste test. So as you can see, one cookie sheet gives you a good amount. I'll show you what the pan looks like when I'm done. Lucas, you want a piece? Lucas.
Yeah.
You want a piece?
Huh?
Do you want a piece?
Piece of what?
Christmas crack.
Christmas what?
Christmas crack.
Christmas. I don't know.
You want a small piece?
Small piece. See what it tastes like. Pretty good.
All right, so as you can see, one cookie sheet. I guess since you already put your hand on it, fills up pretty much a whole pan. So I'm gonna get me a little piece out of here. I'm gonna get this piece. And I'm gonna close this can up and then we're gonna get on out of here. All right, so there you have it, Christmas crack.
Christmas crack?
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe.